How often do you think about the bottom of the ocean? Probably not very often. But still, probably more often than it thinks about you. At the bottom of the ocean, there is no sunlight. Ever. The sun can't reach. It's so deep. It's that deep. But things live in that darkness. And for them, it isn't darkness. It's just life. You couldn't think of it as darkness if you'd never really seen light. It wouldn't mean anything. Would it? The other day I met an oracle. That's one way to put it. I met a stranger who had a lot to say about my life. That's another way to put it. I was in the West Village, walking in the rain. It had been a long day, and all I wanted was a dry place to sit down and eat my dark chocolate M&Ms. Then right as I passed that little park across from Stonewall, famous gay rights place, right as I passed this little park, the rain just stopped. Now, it's not much of a park. It's like a glorified median in the middle of the road, but with the rain clearing up all of a sudden like that, it was like an invitation to sit down. So I dried off a section of bench and I sat. There were two other men in the park, middle-aged. One of them was singing Earth, Wind, and Fire at the top of his lungs, and the other one was grinning.
Body down! Man, do you remember? Body down! Dancing in September, yeah!
Hate to break it to you, Bert, says the guy with the grin, but you sound like a tone-deaf toad.
Man, I sound like Donny Hathaway. Who told you that? Lots of people. Listen, I'm gonna get out of here then. You can insult somebody else.
Till next time, my friend.
Yeah. Take care.
So then, there were two. Me and this guy with the grin. And he catches me looking at him, and his grin grows into a full-on smile. My buddy Bert likes to sing, he says, and he begins walking towards me. You're good to take it all in, my brother. Soak it all up. This world, this life, it'll keep you guessing, that's for sure. Then he introduces himself. My name is David, he says, which seems like a rather plain name for someone wearing a purple tank top, a train conductor hat, and a great kerchiefy necklace thing made of African shells and beads. But he probably did not choose his name. Should really take it up with his parents. David seemed like a perfectly nice guy nonetheless. Now, somehow we got talking about the decline of American democracy. We used words like oligarchy and rolled our eyes. Corporations are not people, I said, and David said, Amen, brother, on that we can agree. Then he took a few steps closer. Listen here, he says in a hushed voice, I want you to go to the Central Library. Go all the way back to the newspaper archives and look up 8 East 3rd Street, years 1989 to 92. Can you do that? Why? I asked. Listen, Blake, we did not meet by chance. See, I have lived several lifetimes. You don't know what that means yet, but one day you will. Oh yeah? I said. Then he sits down on the bench next to me, and for the first time, I get a good look at his eyes. They're clouded and distant, like cataracts or something. Like a soothsayer. You had a comfortable upbringing, Blake. But life is about to change a lot. See, you got big choices to make, because the fact is, you could do just about anything. The question is, what kind of legacy you want to leave? my mouth opened as if to respond, but before I could muster a sensible response, he repeated again, "This was not a chance meeting." See, I was homeless in the 80s, Blake. I went to jail for 10 years. Now, I'm HIV positive. I have seen a lot of this world. I know. I nodded in silence. You got a creative fire to tend to, Blake. And you owe it to the world to tend to that fire.
Now, you know as well as I know that there are unseen forces at play in this life. There are things unseen that boggle the mind. Tell me how, baby. Tell me how the sun don't burn us up to begin with, huh? Concentric circles are not chaos. It's true. Oh, you got power, baby. You got sexual power. Sexual power. Now prove it for good, not bad.
Then he inches closer to me on the bench and whispers in my ear, "I bet you're wondering, how does David know all this?" I ask myself that sometimes. He's mysterious. It's sublime. You know what I'm saying? This was not a chance meeting. Now, at this point, I was beginning to get a little uncomfortable. He was now sitting so close I could feel him breathing on me. A strange man who approached me in the park was breathing on me. And as interesting as I found our conversation to be, I had finished my bag of M&Ms almost 10 minutes ago, and it's time to move on. "What are you doing tonight?" David asked. "I gotta go, man." "Where?" "I'm meeting someone," I lied. "All right. Be blessed now." "You too," I said. I grew up in a town which was not big enough to have a metro system, but was big enough to have a minor league hockey team. A team known as the Thoroughblades, which is a play on thoroughbreds. It's a kind of horse. See, I am from quote-unquote horse country, a place where the Kentucky Derby is like a holiday. So our mascot was a horse, of course, and Lucky was his name. I used to love those hockey games, and especially that horse. I had my 8th birthday at the ice rink and everything, with a big plush #1 finger gobbling my arm and that oversized aqua Thoroughblades jersey dangling from my bony bod as I cheered. I went to see the Thoroughblades as often as I could possibly convince my parents to take me. It was so cool. Before each game, the arena would go black, and spotlights would carve through the enormous darkness as Pink Floyd's Time would rattle our seats. And there was this big sort of ice portal thing in the corner, and I'm probably remembering it more epic than it actually was, but I remember it being pretty epic. And then, when the music reached a certain point of emphasis, sparks would burst around the portal and let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this? And Lucky, the horse, would stay forth in all his equine glory, slashing the air with his hockey stick. Then the players would skate out one by one as their manes boomed from the giant speakers in that fantastic announcer voice. It was awesome. And then I'd sit through the part where they swatted at the little black circle for a couple hours, but it was totally worth it. We would do the wave and the chicken dance, and I could usually finagle Dad into getting me some nachos with that tasty cheese-flavored goo. It was great. Yet, I don't remember anything about any of the players. Or the outcome of any of the games. I just vividly remember Lucky, the horse, and the day I cried for him when my parents told me he wasn't real. I wept and slammed my little fists on the carpet. I cried, but the thing is, I already knew he wasn't a real horse. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I remember just knowing. Maybe some little kids are fooled, but I picked up on things, I guess. Maybe you did too, but the point is, I already knew he wasn't a real horse, and I know I knew that because as much as I fantasized about what it would be like to be an actual horse, and how strange it would be to use a human urinal having 4 hooved legs instead of 2-footed ones. At the end of the day, I still knew it was a guy in a suit. I wanted to be that guy, to put on a show. It was my greatest ambition. And when I insist that I knew he wasn't real before they told me, my parents just smile. You wouldn't have wailed like that, honey. But I did. Maybe it was the image of that costume, limp on a hanger in the locker room somewhere, that ate away at me. My hero, lifeless and flat. But the realization of this thing that I already knew was enough to make me cry. You know, how can you know something but not what is that? If something is on the tip of your tongue, a random thought that is not white words, wireless internet password into your friend's house, anything and everything is stuck in the words, like water in your ear. You wave and you squeal like a barrier machine praying something will go like an easy bake oven and hand over this missing slice of your mind, but it is not. This thing is there, literally hiding in your skull, inside of you, inaccessible. It's there all along, but hiding. Would you like to hear the parable of my uncle and the grasshopper? I thought you would. One day, when I was 10 years old, I was sitting in my uncle's backyard in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Sitting behind his pueblo-looking house, staring out at the endless Martian landscape, when I heard I followed the sound to a watering can and peeked inside. It was a grasshopper, thrashing about desperately, drowning. "What you looking at?" my uncle said, hoisting himself out of his hammock across the yard. I guess my face must have told him it was something worth seeing. "Oh," he said when he saw. And he went and he plucked a long, dry, yellow grass blade from his prickly Santa Fe garden, and he handed it to me. "Here," he said, "help the little guy out." And I did. The grasshopper clung to the grass blade as I brought him into the light. He didn't even leap away. He just sat there with his little antennas twitching. "You saved a life today, Blake," my uncle told me. Wow. I got to thinking about this the other day. After I killed a butterfly with a weed whacker, I didn't mean to. It's not a premeditated murder. It was an accident. But whether the butterfly hits the weed whacker or the weed whacker hits the butterfly, it is going to be bad for the butterfly. And it was. This little angel fell to the earth. Part of its wing whacked away. She fluttered helpless for a moment and was still. But why am I talking about this butterfly instead of the hundreds of mosquitoes which I have intentionally killed? Mosquitoes are a lot more annoying than a butterfly. They're little blood-sucking bastards is what they are, but are they? I mean, they're just trying to get by too. You know, we're sucking the Earth's blood and she hasn't killed us yet. Yet. You know, hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria. My question, what would it be like to be part of the 0.1% who do survive? You know, you see all of their brethren indiscriminately slaughtered. I mean, bacteria are tiny, yeah, but Horton heard of who, motherfucker, am I right? It's right. It's different. You're right. It is. It feels different. A grasshopper can look me in the eye. You know, it has that awareness. Am I just prejudiced against the eyeless? The first life forms were basically just molecules that could replicate themselves. You know? And not too much has changed. From protozoa to hippopotami to person, our goals are pretty similar. We all just want to keep on keeping on. We're addicted to existence, even if it's miserable, but despite our best efforts, we are destined for defeat. Every single one of us. Whether sea slug or pigeon or person or tree, every single one of us will one day be gone. That's why we pass on our genetic code, so we can still stick around. We can still exist in some form, at least, kinda. We breed. That is more or less what us living things have in common. So then tell me why. Tell me why I cover my genetic code dispenser with a rubber sheath, thereby thwarting any chance of this. Tell me why we consciously sabotage the miracle of life. Never saw a tree do that. Now, I'm not Catholic or anything, don't worry. I think we should do whatever we want. I do, and I don't want to have kids right now, but isn't it a little bit humorous? I mean, it's pretty damn weird. My consciousness and the entire rest of my organism are totally at odds. My sperm are ready to go, man. Could not convince them otherwise. See, that is consciousness for you. It's hijacking the body. Consciousness says, "Give me cigarettes. Cigarettes is fun. Yay!" And the body says, "Get that poison out of here. You're literally killing me, you fucking asshole." Or, I'm sorry. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's the body that's craving chemicals while the mind knows better. Or maybe they're tangled up. Maybe it depends. know bumblebees communicate through dance? Probably heard that at some point. It's true. You know, they build these big hives together, so they gotta organize and coordinate, and so they speak to one another through movement, through some strange dance language. And for years, scientists have tried to crack the code to be let in on these conversations, and they have failed and failed until just recently. Apparently, the bees' movement patterns display a kind of math that the only other application for this type of math is quantum physics. So this is making people wonder if the bees are somehow aware of what's going on at the quantum level of these sophisticated patterns. So, yeah, maybe the bees could help Johnny with his homework. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, Blake, you're confusing things. Now, the bees probably aren't conscious of this complexity. They aren't thinking about it. It just happens. You don't understand how you work your thyroid gland, do you, Blake? But alas, it works. To these people among you, I say, fair enough. Maybe it is the unconscious who communicates through quantum choreography. After all, it is the unconscious who battles cancer while the consciousness sleeps. It is the unconscious who creates a baby. Person, right there inside of you. While the consciousness, you, are watching a BuzzFeed video. So, remind me again why so-called conscious beings are so much more worthy of our respect. Does intelligence lurk among the elements? Songs among the stars? Need there be a God? Who are you? Who are you? It's been said that when Bodhidharma, the legendary Buddhist monk, was asked, "Who are you?" he replied, "I know not. Planting flowers to which the butterflies come." Is that you too? Is that us? That mysterious interconnectedness that underlies all things? The mysterious interconnectedness that underlies me. Butterflies and flowers, quantum physicists and bees, and nightmares and daydreams and thyroid glands and love and sex and the moon and the clouds and the sea, infinity. That is me, planting flowers to which the butterflies come, this symphony. That's me. Not just a clumsy mind. Oh, clumsy mind. Catching thoughts. Oh, hide and seek of sentience. There's nothing new under the sun, except perhaps everything, the sun herself included. Just this bang that keeps on banging. I'm here, I'm you. The masked ball we call biology. I am here, I am you. Now, please, find that dial of yours and just tune into this vibe. Is it coming through okay? It might not be. Our primate minds are ill-equipped to render the speechless awe that underlies each breath in syllables comprehensible to primate minds. Did I say primate? Because I meant primate. Or did I mean God? What a thing to say. Our hearts beat in unison. Our fragile, fragile hearts. Each of us just a silly little cell in the great celestial organism with the creative potential of the whole goddamn thing. We are one, ever expanding, blossoming and rotting amidst the chatter of our minds. We are rambunctious, we are lazy, we are evil. Is that true? Why is the fiber of this web laced with cruelty and deceit? So much beauty, so much love, so much slavery, too. I don't know how I work my thyroid gland. I suppose I am taken care of by intelligence unseen. Yes, there are forces unseen, to quote my West Village oracle. There is much more at play than appears at first glance, but if this is God's game, it's a game played with dice. At least I hope. That's my clumsy mind's conclusion. I find it hard to believe that everything is going according to some plan. And I refuse to believe that God is trying to teach the starving children something by making their bellies bloat and their eyeballs turn yellow. I think that is twisted and confused and calloused and profane. I find chaos more comforting than order like that. Chaos is just chaos. It has no intentions for us to call evil. It's impartial, unmotivated, innocent, and dumb. But that does not quite sound like the universe either. Now, does it? She loves me. She loves me not. 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 She loves me. She loves me. She loves me not. She. The other day I saw a Facebook meme that said, and I quote, "Perhaps the butterfly is proof that you can go through a great deal of darkness, but still become something beautiful." It's true. But what about our fishy friends at the bottom of the ocean, who never emerge from that dark liquid realm? Can they still be beautiful? Is that even the point? The world's coral reefs are dying. Did you know that? From ocean acidification. One day, they will all be gone, and Finding Dory will be a historical piece. They'll say, "Grandpa went snorkeling. Isn't that crazy? Grandpa swam in the ocean with those beautiful dinosaurs." But those beautiful dinosaurs are basically oblivious. They can't protest against industrial pollution. They don't know what it is. It threatens their existence, but it's just beyond their rationale. I mean, the political debate regarding climate change is going on in an entirely different dimension. One the cuttlefish couldn't even begin to imagine. But it is real, that dimension. And they feel its effects. I went to the Central Library, just like my Oracle friend had instructed. And when I got there, they informed me that the newspaper archives are actually at the Midtown Library, which is just like a block or so away. You know, that's the one by Bryant Park that looks like a palace with the big lion statues guarding it out front. Much more appropriate for a prophetic vision. So I went to the Midtown Library, and when I got to the room with the newspaper archives, they informed me that you cannot search by topic. The way us Google brats are used to, there is no way to look up 8 East 3rd Street. You have to name the specific publication and the exact date you would like to see it for, because that's the way it's filed in a file cabinet. Did David expect me to flip through every newspaper that was published between the years 1989 and 1992? That would be 1,460 days of news. Why didn't he just tell me his story on the park bench? Why this cryptic mission with inaccurate instructions? So I Googled 8 East 3rd Street, and I found that there is a men's shelter there for homeless men. But I could not find anything specifically about the years 1989 to 1992. Remember the butterfly I killed with a weed whacker? Happened while I was working on a farm in Colorado. Anyways, a few days after I killed the butterfly, the head farmer lady saw these little fellows fluttering around the kale bed, and she grumbled something about cabbage loopers. Sorry, what? Cabbage loopers? That's what they're called? That's the name our ancestors gave to this angelic, silent flutter? Cabbage loopers. See, they're a pest, apparently. In their caterpillar stage, before they transform, they are these little green caterpillars who hide under leaves and eat away at crops. More butterflies means more caterpillars, and more caterpillars means more hungry mouths chewing through our livelihood. So for hundreds of years, people have caught the cabbage loopers with nets and fed them to their chickens to kill the little bastards and nourish their chickens. A win-win. Except, of course, for the little white butterflies. The little white butterflies most definitely lose. I noticed the other day when I was sitting on the toilet that there were little butterfly designs on my toilet paper. Of course, I'd seen these butterflies countless times. I must have, but I never thought anything of it. As if it somehow made sense for them to be there. But why would that make sense? Why is it the delicate butterfly we choose to wipe our ass with? Why not Donald Trump? We see shapes in the clouds when we look to the sky. And we see purpose in our lives when we look to the past. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? I'm glad. You know, it's just
fuzzy enough for me to just make it out. Oh, clumsy mind! You slosh around amidst the chatter, blah, amidst logic and illogic and logic and what? What was that? Huh? Hey, whoa now. Explain yourself, please. I am ready when you are. Come on now, come on. There's an explanation for everything. Every single thing. Not a stand is not a place, as they say. Pretty sure that's what they say. And someone said something similar to that. We are in the dark, my friends. At the bottom of the ocean of endless cosmos. At the center of it, clueless. We are specks of sand in just the right place. We are butterflies on toilet paper. Look at us go! That's not what lucky actually looks like. Not really. No. We tried to get the real costume for the show. Instead, we wound up with a Henry the Horse costume. Or Horse Henry, depending on which website you look at. But the real Lucky, the only Lucky, is somewhere back in Lexington, Kentucky. It could be limp in a box in a closet somewhere, or proudly displayed in a glass case. I do not know. What I do know is that it belongs to a man named Chris Barker.
Chris Martin was lucky. The guy in the suit for the 5 short years that the Thoroughblades existed. When I was offered this residency here at the Brick, we decided that we really ought to track down the original Lucky costume. So we posted about it on Facebook, and in a matter of hours, the World Wide Web brought us an answer. Lucky. Not the guy from Coldplay, the guy who owns Martin Cigars on Nicholasville Road in Lexington, Kentucky. Now, the funny thing about Chris Martin, he'd like to make America great again. Yeah, he's a big-time Trump supporter, total reactionary. And this is not a secret. I discovered this by looking at his public Facebook profile, where in addition to his pro-Trump posts, he posted several memes justifying police brutality. He posted a promotional video for a gun show that is specifically dedicated to assault rifles and other military-grade equipment. And he posted a video of some flamingos chilling on a beach. He's a person. Like an actual person who happens to be very different than me. But that was him. That on my 8th birthday, he signed my jersey, Lucky. We're talking about a childhood hero of mine. Well, anyway. I didn't think I'd have much luck messaging Mr. Martin from my little lefty Facebook page. And I couldn't find his email, so I decided that I should send in my mother, who still lives in Lexington. I figured if anyone could convince him to let me use the costume for the show, she would be the one, and she agreed. So she went to Martin Cigars on Nicholasville Road. And apparently he was really, really nice. She emphasized that. But he never loans out the Lucky costume. Ever. Not even to his friends in Lexington, let alone some stranger doing a play in New York. It cost $6,500 to make in 1996. It's one of a kind, and he was the one who actually designed it. It's precious to him. So it was not meant to be. At least that's what you say, right? People who say things like that, it's not meant to be. Some people do. It's kind of fantastic though, isn't it? I mean, the drama, the reversals, this game of hide and seek. I think that story is so much more interesting than having that costume would be. You know? I think so. Things have a funny way of working out for some of us. For some of us. Do you add up? To what? What would you add up to? What would you add up to if you could add up? What? Whether it's a higher power or a lower power. It's jazz, man. It's jazz. Blossoming and rotting. It's jazz, jazz, jazz. Tap your toe and shut up. It's defiant fucking jazz. It will inevitably squirm free of your grip like a tadpole, whisking away in a cloud of mocking bubbles, like an eyeball or a head hiding from itself. It's you. It's me. It's you. It's me. It's you. It's me. It's